Hi everyone, this is Joseph from English with Joseph. It's very nice to be with you again today. Well, I was in England during this week and I went to visit Hampton Court Palace. I had hoped I would be able to do some recordings there to share with you, but unfortunately the weather was so bad that I couldn't do anything. I got there and I was very wet, and anyway, it was a lovely time and a lovely visit, and I want to tell you more about it. First of all, Hampton Court Palace is very famous for a number of reasons. The first reason, and perhaps the most important one, is because it was where King Henry VIII lived. King Henry VIII had 6 wives. He killed some of them, and that's why he's very famous. He didn't kill all of them. In fact, there's a very famous proverb in English about the 6 wives. We say, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. So even though he has a reputation for executing all 6 wives, actually he only killed 2 of them. The others died naturally. Perhaps the most famous of these wives is Anne Boleyn. Well, maybe she's not the most famous. I think it depends where you're living in the world. If you're from Spain, maybe Catherine of Aragon would be more famous. That was his first wife. The wives' names are Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr, and they each have their own unique place in English society. Well, it was very nice and I was very happy to be there. My next visit to the UK will be when I go to visit Scotland. Scotland is where I was born, and I will go back there in March. I told you earlier that at Hampton Court it was very wet, and I would like to talk to you a little bit more about the way in which we can express the weather. Well, we know about cold. Oh, I'm cold, I'm freezing. And we know about warm. Oh, I'm so hot, it's boiling. And we also know about humid. Oh, it's very humid today. I think there will be a thunderstorm. Humid is when there's a lot of humidity in the air. Humidity. So we talk a lot about it being humid when there's humidity and it feels very hot. Some people call this close. Oh, it feels very close today. And some people call it clammy. Oh, it feels very clammy today. But these are probably more regional words. The correct word to say is humid. We can also talk about things being frozen if the ice has made them very hard. Like in the freezer, for example, which is beneath the refrigerator usually in English homes. There's many other things we can do to express the weather. We can say, for example, it's cloudy, and that's those white marks in the sky that look a little bit like smoke. We can also say it's foggy, and foggy is when there's a lot of mist. Some people talk about smog, and this is when there's a lot of mist, but when the mist has been caused by pollution in the environment. In the UK in the 1970s, smog was a big problem because we had factories with big chimneys, and some villages were just always covered in smog. It's quite common to say things like, oh, I I got soaking wet outside. To say how wet you are, I got soaking wet outside. And there's other things we can say about the weather too. So just to recap, we can say, oh, it's cold, it's hot, it's humid, or you could even say, it's nice. And I know in some of the other videos that I've made, I've spoken in a lot more detail about the weather. Well, earlier I told you that I was at Hampton Court. I liked it so much that I wrote some poems about it, and now this book is on Amazon as a Kindle book. But if you write to me, I'll send you the book free of charge as a PDF. You can contact me on this site, on Facebook, on my email, which is mctaggartjoseph7@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter. You can find a lot of useful information on Twitter for learning English. And you can find the details at my Twitter feed, which is mctaggartj7. Facebook, English with Joseph. Daily Motion, English with Joseph. Email, mctaggartjoseph7. Skype, English with Joseph. So, if you want to contact me, I'll happily send you the book. I've written it in English, which is quite easy, but I'm not sure if you're intermediate or below, whether you would understand everything. But it's yours if you want it. Okay, well, I think that's all I want to say today. So, I want to wish you a very good day, and I'll see you soon. Just before I go though, I want to tell you that I'm still working on trying to produce something daily for this website. Sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not. But if you have any ideas of what you would like to see, then let me know. I'm also looking at turning it into a podcast, but so far I've been unsuccessful. Okay, see you. Bye bye.